one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself, 14 miles southeast of the city center, has been home to the US Grand Prix since 2012, the latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honor. We're racing then today in Travis County, Texas, around the 20 corners of this wonderful Circuit of the Americas. We'll be reaching speeds of around 200 miles per hour here today, and there are plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the two DRS zones into Turn 1 and the long back straight into Turn 12. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Kamui Kobayashi lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Russell, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, the captain, Gasly, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Stroll, Ocon, Albon, Sargent, Magnussen, Bottas, Perez, Hulkenberg, Joe, and Dennis Hauger. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations...
Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. We drive full-length races in full simulation settings from the driver's cockpit with a Fanatec CSL DD Plus force feedback wheel and load cell pedal set. Collision, damage, tire wear, fuel use are all implemented, along with the pit stop strategies and ability to come in and get back out and make it fast. We have the full grid of cars with all of the skill and talent of the drivers in Formula 1 and all of the weather that is set in the game. This is the full career season. There's no other series that displays all of the characteristics of the Formula 1 World Championship. Before we go on, click on the like button and subscribe and let us know how you enjoyed the race. It gets our channel out to other race fans like you. In addition, you'll be notified when the next race is available. Our content is on Facebook in HD and on YouTube in Ultra HD. Now let's go.
So here is our strategy, and we're going to go with the default strategy, which is a one stop. It's going to save us 8 seconds. Not a lot, but if we have the soft tires on there, we should be going much faster than that. If we are going to be doing 12 laps, as they are 1.5 seconds faster than, at least, than the medium tires. So it doesn't pay to have a 2-stop. Possible we can start with 2 softs. And here is our setup once again. It is based off of the setup from Sim Racing Setups, also here on YouTube. And you can pause the video and take a look at it. We did change a couple of things. The tire pressure, I believe the front tire pressure was set to 22.5 or maybe 26.5 in the rear. So as this is a full race, we are also very interested in preserving the tires as well as having some kind of performance. So we are going to set it somewhere near the medium, which we have been very successful doing so in the past few races. And we are going to go with 62 laps out of 56. No, let's go down to 61. And that is going to save us a little bit of time, especially at the start here. Our teammate Kobayashi is 0.609 seconds or so ahead of second place, so he's got a very fast car. This race. Go.
Yes, we are starting further back than we'd like to in this race here at the Circuit of the Americas. Just didn't qualify very well. In addition, our teammate is just so much more faster. So here we go, up the hill into turn 1. A very slow and blind left-hander. There is...
Good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
So there is a high curb on the inside of turn 1 that will upset your car, so you want to avoid that and stay out a little bit. Here we are going through the S's from 2 until turn 9. This is turn 8 here, and turn 9. As we go down the hill, and a little bend here to the left, that is going to be turn 10. We are going to be on the ERS here, trying to catch up to the cars ahead of us because we want to cross the DRS line in proper time. And we make a sharp left-hander into turn 11. This is the first DRS zone, and again there are 2 DRS zones here at the Circuit of the Americas. Braking very hard here into turn 12 from the straight. It is one of 5 very sharp left-handers that we'll have to navigate through the circuit. Turn 13, turn 14 as we accelerate out. Now, very hard braking again into turn 15, and this is a very slow corner, 2nd or 3rd gear as we accelerate out. We're going to use our ERS here for a little bit of boost as we connect these 3 apexes into turn 19. Here to the left. Another short straight here into turn 20, the last turn before we approach onto the main straights. Pit entrance to the left here. Grandstands on the right as we approach our grid box. Again, not qualifying very well here for the Circuit of the Americas.
Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay.
I guess I should be happy that we made it into Q3, so here we go, 5 lights on, and when they are out, the race is on. There is our teammate at the front of the field. Climbing up to turn 1.
We are looking to go outside of the Ferrari, but it's not going to happen.
Right now, a very busy track here with a couple of Ferraris, and that is Fernando Alonso just ahead of us. Coming in through the S's of turn 2 through 9. Again, as you might have seen in the sprint race, these corners have to be all interconnected, otherwise you'll be losing a lot of time. And through turn 11, we are able to get our tires just ahead of Fernando Alonso, and we're going to be able to take him onto the main straight here. No DRS yet, as it is still the first lap. We are looking inside one of the Ferraris.
But we took the Ferrari
in the very hard braking zone, and we're going to be able to get him into turn 12.
You can't pass up a chance to pass.
That is correct, and that was Charles Leclerc. His teammate just ahead, Carlos Sainz. Turn 16, turn 17, and then 18. Again, turn 19. There is pit entrance once again.
So right now, having a look at the Ferrari ahead, we've got a lot of wing compared to him.
And through the pit straight once again, we are approaching turn 1, which we said in the sprint race that it was 3 stories high. It is 133 feet in elevation change. That is 41 meters, and it is at 11%, so it is a very high and dramatic climb, and is one of the most popular places to view the race here at the Circuit of the Americas. Here we are with the 66 in through the S's once again. We are looking at one of the Red Bulls just in front of us.
Definitely have a lot of wing.
That is Max Verstappen.
You can see the other cars are going slower.
Yes, for the beginning of the race, we are very comfortable in the car going through the S's.
Inside of Verstappen.
Again, we take Max Verstappen into turn 11. A very good place to pass.
Very tempting.
Yes, right now we've got both McLarens in front of us, and they are racing each other. So one of them is eventually going to be going slower. So as we are riding behind, we are looking for a pass.
Kamui's taking off.
And we are looking out from behind of the McLaren. This is the number 66, again down the pit straight and up the hill into turn 1. And we get by just momentarily, but we run ourselves a little too wide and outbrake
Collision
ourselves.
with the Piastri. I don't see any damage.
A little touch between the McLaren and the Driving Immersion. Again, there is no pop-up for indicating any damage to either car, or at least the number 66. Exiting turn 11 once again.
Verstappen's out in front.
No, he's not.
Yes, I believe that is a mistake. Max Verstappen was passed maybe a couple of laps ago. So right now, as we come in through 16 and 17, we have passed both McLarens already with the number 66. And from the crane up above, we are looking at the exit of 15. Now, after just under a handful of laps, we are back up with the Mercedes, and I believe this is going to be George Russell. I can see the aquamarine helmet that he usually wears.
Definitely more wing than Russell.
So just momentarily, it looked like we were struggling worse than George Russell here, but we are looking for a sweet spot on the track that he cannot go to, and that is going to be our advantage point. Here we are again down the back straight with the DRS zone. All the confidence in the world that this car is going to be fast enough with the DRS and the ERS combined. This is turn 12. Four laps completed, and we are up to second from 9th place. That car up ahead, our teammate Kamui Kobayashi, currently in first place now with 3.2 seconds of an advantage over the 66 here. Having a look at the leaderboard on the upper left of your screen, you can see that he has a set of the medium compound tires, just like everyone else. And it is still very early in the race, and still very hard to predict the pit strategy that each car or each team will have.
Totally missed it.
Down the back straight, once again, you can see there that George Russell has his DRS wing open. So he is within reach, however, just not fast enough that time around. on the main straight here, and we are riding with Lando Norris in the McLaren. That is his teammate right behind him, and then Max Verstappen behind him. So he is leading a number of cars through the S's here into lap 7 with 6 laps complete. Back to the T-cam of the number 66.
Kamui is getting away.
Into turn 12 here, and you can see that Kamui is just disappearing into turn 13 as we exit. There he is, a very small dot on the screen. So a couple of things going on here. Our teammate has been very well developed by the team with the practice programs and the resource points. And that is something that you may want to consider when you are doing a full career. This is George Russell getting by down the main straight with his DRS. Again, around the number 66 as we follow him into turn 2.
I could use a pull.
And if you've been following the season so far here in Formula One with Driving Immersion, you may have known already that we do increase the difficulty to adjust for any winning that we may do. So every time we win, we increase the difficulty. And right now we are at a point where our teammate is actually faster than we are, along with any development that we may have done with him. But you can see here that the rest of the field, there are a few cars that will remain in the race with us. Again, the usual slow cars or slower cars will usually fall back. Here at the Circuit of the Americas, you can see the other cars in the back. They are a few seconds behind already, but George Russell here giving us a very good challenge, and that's what we do expect if they are going to simulate any of the F1 races. That is the exit out of 15, and right now we are just staying behind. As long as we can remain close, we should be able to get him back next time we come around to the DRS zones. And a quick look down the field, you can see that there is a group of cars racing with each other here. Now as we watch the cars drive through the S's here, we can see that the curves are relatively low and flat, and you'll see in the 66 as we drive around that we will take advantage of that. There are some instances where it does look like we are corner cutting, but again, no penalties for any of that, so we just keep on driving. We continue on behind George Russell and have a good look at turn 12. However, we are at this point confidently fast enough to be able to overtake him. And if you joined us earlier in the season, there were a few instances where we were actually low on fuel, in which case drafting behind a competitor's car for several laps, maybe 6 to 10 laps at the most, we were actually able to save fuel. But here, still very early in the race, we are now just coming around to finish lap 9.
Gap to your teammate ahead, 9.3 seconds.
So right now, no fuel savings, and we're going to be able to get inside of him before we get through turn 1. He's on the inside now, and we are able to beat him out just barely into turn 2. Again, as we approach turn 2, we are actually going downhill, so very quick spot right there. This is turn 9. Turn 10. Again, a little short downhill sprint. And you can see there that in turn 11 we missed the apex by quite a lot. We are very far on the outside.
Lost a lot of time behind Russell.
It is very hard to judge a lot of these sharp left-handers here. Like turn 12 here, it occurs after a very high-speed area on the track. So we are fighting to slow the car down, at the same time looking for the apex in order to be able to have a successful run. On board with George Russell, that is the 66 just ahead, exiting out of 15. Now 16, 17, and 18. Those are also turns that you have to connect. There is George Russell in the Mercedes. You can see his rear wing is open, so less drag with a speed advantage here. But we are going to keep the inside here into turn 1, and he's not going to be able to get around.
Seconds now to Kamui. It's impossible. Wow,
again, very hard
wide.
to judge the apex on those very slow left-handers. But yes, 10 seconds, 11 seconds now to Kamui Kobayashi. He is just going faster and faster. Now we do hold the fastest lap so far of the race, but he is being consistently fast. And again, that can only be the result of proper training, again within the practice weekend and the driver development programs that are part of the driving season here in my career and my team in Formula 1. And again, we do have to watch out for him, make sure that he's not doing all the winning. But we do want him to be very well developed in order so that he is capable of winning, as opposed to having somebody that just comes in down the field and drives the car around and does parade laps. Just in case our primary driver here, which is the number 66, does not do well in the race or something happens. Once again through the S's, this is turn 10, and right now we are able to stay ahead of George Russell in the Ferrari.
I think we may be losing a lot of time there at 11.
So there is 56 laps in this race here at the Circuit of the Americas. We will have to figure out turn 11 pretty soon. Again, we are losing a lot of time, just being a little bit too wide on the apex. As it opens onto a straight, we're able to, if we do it correctly, make up a lot of time and speed down the straight. But if we are going to miss the apex and screw up the exit, we are going to be losing a lot of time. Again, going very wide out of turn 11 costs a lot of time. And here we are coming out of 20 down the straight once again.
11 seconds now to Kamui. at this point is hope that he does a 2-stop.
And if you have actually seen the sprint race, which occurred the day before, we did catch up to Kamui, also with him having the faster car, and we are able to stay ahead and keep him behind. But right now, he is out of sight and more than 11 seconds ahead now. Still very early in the race. Our only hope is that his pit strategy is very different from ours and most like the others.
Left rear is very warm.
Having a look at our wear data there on the tires, you can see that the left rear is at 18%, and we are actually putting a lot of wear on that tire by accelerating too hard.
Still losing time to Kamui.
Again, we are using the race setup here from Sim Racing Setups for most of our adjustments, including the differential setting. So it is very highly locked, which means that it will lock both tires at the same speed very early on when we apply a lot of power. So what happens is that the inside wheel, which has a shorter distance to go, is actually spinning and losing traction as we accelerate out, if we accelerate out too early coming out of turn. And that right now is why that tire is wearing out, as this is a counterclockwise track. That rear tire is going to be doing most of the suffering. So looking on from the crane, you can see there that that is probably the acceptable way to get around turn 11. Touching the apex just a little bit on the inside and then letting the car drift out to the right onto the apron. Big lock up there for the 66, very hard braking again into turn 12.
Don't know what happened there.
Obviously the lockup was
Major
in the
brake
rear.
lockup, obviously.
And right now we are looking at 20 and 16% wear on the tires in the back.
I think these tires are going away fast.
Yes, once again, as we mentioned in the sprint race here, through the weekend here in the Formula One season, we have a lot of driving experience using the soft tires. However, on the mediums and the hard tires, we only get 2 sets of each. So again, we have much less experience on the wear and tear that occurs on the harder compounds like the medium and the hard tires. And you would think that we shouldn't have to worry about them because they will last a lot longer than the soft tires, but all tires eventually wear, even the hard tires. If you're going to take them to 40 or 50 laps, you'll definitely notice some wear or some change in performance. Coming out of turn 11, we've got a very good distance now to George Russell in 3rd place in the Mercedes. However, we are totally out of sight with the number 75 of Kamui Kobayashi. And as we look around the track here, following the number 66, he is definitely not even in sight. So he is just continuing on going faster and faster. Again, that is 15, 16, 17, 18.
Well, he's still going very fast.
he is now 13 seconds ahead. Very wide on the apex into turn 1, and you can see there that we had a little bit of traction as we accelerated out. And you definitely can't accelerate out of turn 1 in 3rd gear.
Trying to straighten out every corner to get a faster lap here.
Yes, from behind the wheel of the 66, we are comfortably in front of George Russell now in the Mercedes. So we are trying to make up some time here to see if there's anything we can do to get back up to our teammate. Again, he is going very fast. We do have the same cars, but it's very possible that we have a different setup or a different pit strategy. But his laps are consistently faster than ours here, even though right now into lap 15 we can currently hold the fastest lap of the race. Here we are 16, 17, and 18, and you can see there that we had our ERS on as we are accelerating out of turn 15. 16, 17, and 18 are actually
a lot of wear on the rear
turns.
tires. I'd like to move the brake bias up, but it only slows us down. We're just having to drive it very hard. This Kamui has got supersonic.
Here we are through the S's with the number 66. This is down to turn 11. Again, very hard to spot the apex there as we come around, and it is very important as we come onto this back straight, which is going to give you a lot of speed and save you a lot of time if done correctly. So further back, we can see that there is a McLaren behind George Russell here in the Mercedes, but George is also comfortably in front. So at this point of the race, we can kind of see how fast the cars are going to go. Right now, the other variable that we have to be able to figure out is what is the pit stop strategy of the other cars in the field. And we have not seen any of the front runners starting off on a set of the soft tires. And those tires are the ones that are painted red or highlighted in red. So it's very easy to see these are the mediums in yellow. And then again, the hard tires will be in white. Looking around the track, it doesn't look like we're going to be using any of the wet or rain tires this time around here at the Circuit of the Americas. And in fact, it looks like the sun is starting to clear up the clouds a little bit better now. It was very overcast when we started the race.
I suppose I could complain about the performance of this car. But we are in second out of 9th. Our teammate just has the ultimate setup this weekend.
Okay, clear.
Clear from what? Lando Norris is out. That is the orange McLaren.
So there was a little pop-up there for a yellow flag that cleared up very fast, and then we were informed that Lando Norris was
These
out
tires
of the
are
race.
wasted.
Happened all very fast. We did not see Lando's car on the side of the road. If he is on the other side of the lap or a whole lap around, we will not see his car. They usually disappear as they are picked up by the crane. Quick flip through the field here, and no, we are not able to see his car. There it is. And I believe that is the exit out of 15. So back to the 66.
Very wide. Just giving time to Russell here. At least he is out of DRS. Kamui is now 16.5 seconds ahead.
Coming in through 20 once again. And right now I believe we have 20 laps on this set of tires. We are trying to gauge just how good or how much life they have left.
We're going for a one-stopper, obviously.
That we have 28 or 29% wear on the left rear. That is kind of high. We have taken a set of the soft tires all the way up to 50 and 51%. The mediums, I believe the highest we've ever taken that, meaning driving around, is probably 43 or 46%.
It'll be very difficult to catch him. Unless he does a two-stop.
So here we are, 19 laps down. We are on lap 20. And the rear tires, left rear, for example, is 28% worn, which is very high. Now I believe our pit stop is set at 25 laps, so the 5-lap difference is actually a lot. That tire, once it starts wearing, like any of the other tires, once they start wearing faster and faster. And right now we are behind the wheel, worried that it's not going to make it to 25 laps.
Left rear very close to its limit now.
So considering possible strategies here, as we are behind our teammate by quite a ways, there is no way that we are going to beat him out of the pits. Again,
May have the short chip
with the time that he
to
has,
accelerate.
which is 17 seconds, he can afford to stop twice. Because we know that we will have to stop at least once. So back to our strategy once again. There's no way that we can plan on going with a second or adding a stop. If you remember at the beginning of the race, we have a one-stop strategy with the medium tires and then moving on to the hard tires after that to finish the race. Now the hard tires that we're going to be putting on, they actually have a lot of life left at the end of the race, and that is kind of something that should pay attention to before the race starts or when you're planning your strategy. So our only recourse here going around as the rear tires are starting to degrade incrementally is that we may have to come in early and put on that set of hard tires. Now when we put on the hard tires, we are going to start losing time to all these other cars that are still running on the mediums. However, their mediums are going to be a lot slower now that they are mostly worn. So our degree of being slower is not as much, being this close to the end of the stint or this round of pit stops. And if the rear tires are going to be much worse than they are now and started to grade even faster, you can see now
front rear
32 in the rear, and we can come in early. We have completed 21 laps. We are on lap 22. The overlay on the lower right of the screen shows the tires are actually a very bright yellow instead of just a washed out color, so they are pretty worn. And we have not actually worn any tires to the point where they will appear red, meaning that they are completely worn and there's no life left in them. And here at the Circuit of the Americas, we run in second place, so there's no need to risk it. Here we are. George Russell comes inside as we are calling into the pits, into the pit lane entry with the speed limiter going on right now.
Tires are too far gone.
This is lap 22 of 56, so 22 laps completed. We are on the 23rd lap. We are only 3 laps early.
Okay, let's go now. Come on. That was a...
So again, if we take a hit for coming in early, it won't be much of a hit, as all the other cars and their tires are getting older and more worn. This is Yuki Tsunoda in the Red Bull. Again, if you have been watching the series, he has been moved up in the last 2 races. I believe he was moved up in Zandvoort.
Well, we have a slower set of tires, but hopefully they will not fall off as fast as the mediums did.
So right now the hard tires will usually take at least a couple of laps to get up to temperature. Again, even though there are tire heaters, the difference between maximum or best temperature is only by a few degrees. A quick look at the steering wheel there, and they are, I believe, 182 in the rear. And we were running the yellow tires in the 218 to 221 range. And right now, after that first pit stop for the number 66, we are quite a ways back into the field. We are inside one of the Aston Martins. I believe they may have been Lance Stroll as we came out of the pits. Yes,
Lance
it was.
Stroll just in the way.
And up ahead is one of the Alpines. That is Esteban Ocon. Still not have come in for his first pit stop. And right now we are P10, so this is a points-paying position. Not much possibility of passing around turn 15 at the Circuit of the Americas.
Well, he's not a back marker, so that he will not get the blue flag.
No, Esteban Ocon will not get the
find
blue
my way
flag.
around him.
And there, out of turn 1, we got to see the exact penalty that you'll be paying if you don't make the apex, which is blind and very fast.
Alright, so I'm gonna get out of the pits.
As we exit turn 11 with the number 66, we are calculating how much further back we are going to be after the first round of pit stops. Again, we did come in early and we did exit out on a slower set of tires. And just now we were behind a couple of the slower cars of Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon.
Lost a lot of time on
Alpine.
Ocon there.
And usually when you come in for a tire change, you want to come out and we want to put on some very good and consistent fast laps in order to perhaps make up some time on the other cars before they come in. If you are in a car with a set of worn out tires and you hang out here and continue to lap, it's very possible that you may be losing as much as 2 or 3 seconds a lap and not even know it. This is Lewis Hamilton in 8th place. He did very well in the sprint race here at the Circuit of the Americas. So the Mercedes cars here are very fast for the weekend. Again, before the pit stop, we were racing with George Russell, who was behind us. So a very good and fast weekend for him, and we'll wait to see how things shake out once all the other cars come in for their pit stop.
There's a straight of cars up here. Cars are very warm.
Here are the other cars coming in.
A lot of cars coming in on lap 25.
And it is going to be a flurry of pit stops here. This is Alonso. You see the Red Bull and the Ferrari taking off. That is Tsunoda. There's also a Mercedes in the mix. And right now we can see at least 5 cars in the pits, and this is the beginning of lap 26, the end of 25. There is turn 11 once again from the number 66. Coming into turn 12. And right now we are behind a Ferrari and one of the remaining
So Kamui's on a
McLarens.
one stop.
So I believe both of those cars will still have to make a pit stop. And again, we are currently in lap 27, 26 laps finished. There they are, both cars coming in.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.3 seconds.
And George Russell was also in the pits as we came around. So we did beat him out of the pits, or at least
17
the
seconds ahead.
pit stop rotation. And as he exits out, he is 4.6 seconds behind, so that is just about right for when we first came in. Doing the math, we came in at the right time with the tire wear that we had, and it didn't cost us any extra by going around.
The car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind, running hard tyres.
Very wide.
In past races, we had stayed out a little bit too long on some of the tires, and we just unknowingly just lost
we are
time.
about 6 laps more wear on the hard tires that we have on.
Yes, that's right. This set of hard tires are going to be 6 laps older than all of the other cars, including George Russell, who is right behind us. But again, their lifespan is actually a little bit longer than the medium tires. And just before the beginning of the race, when we were configuring our strategy, if we did come in on lap 25, the hard tires will still be at the point where we are not losing time. So we do expect that by the end of the race, they will still be in very good shape, meaning that we are still competitive with the other cars behind us who have the same set of tires. And right now, as we are lapping around here at the Circuit of the Americas, we are trying to figure out how Kamui is so much faster. If there's something or somewhere on the track that we are not hitting right, braking right, or accelerating correctly, where we're losing all this time, we're still trying to figure it out. Now, turn 11 was one of the points where we were kind of slow by not hitting the apex. A lot of these tight left-handers are that way.
So the hard tires are up top
And
as we are running a fast lap.
And that includes this turn 12 that we just went through. Turn 19 and then turn 20, and this is going to open up onto the straight and the hill climb up to turn 1. Obviously turn 20 a very important exit. Here we are coming into turn 1. We brake very hard at the light box on the fence to the right. A little bit wide again on the apex. It is very difficult to see, and as we are coming over to crest at turn 1, there are few signs or few structures for us to be able to judge our location as a result of pointing up from the horizon. And that's basically what makes turn 1 very hard. Now we can use the light box on the fence as we had been using, and that actually helps to indicate where we should be applying the brakes. So we're not too far off, but again, we need to be able to see that apex into turn 1. Very clear track here for the number 66. As we had just come into the cockpit here, we saw in the last scene that the Mercedes of George Russell was just coming up into the straight. So we are still racing with him. Again, having a very long look down this very long straight, we are not even able to see Kamui, our teammate, in first place. There is turn 1. We hit the curb just a little bit on the inside. Turn 15 from the crane, and you can get a very good look at how sharp it is to turn.
We are 3.3 to George Russell. We are losing a little time.
There we are from the cockpit of the 66. Again, very difficult to see the apex there in the turn 1. There is a yellow crane
Wrong way.
on the outside of the turn in order for us to be able to see where the horizon is. But again, the shape of the crane is very difficult to use to determine where we are in relation to the apex in turn 1. So we have to use another visual cue. Here we are, hopefully another look into turn 1.
Second place, you're in second place. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, they're on fresh hards. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay.
Just a little bit better that time around. Right now, 32 laps complete of this race at the Circuit of the Americas. Our tire wear in the back is 8 and 7%. Relatively decent here for a set of the hard tires. Very good hit on the apex there in the turn 11. And we had called into the pits just to see how many laps are left in the race. And this race is 56 laps. So right now we are trying to calculate if these tires are going to be, again, in the high 30% wear rates, in which case we can give up on trying to catch up to Kamui, who is now 22 seconds ahead. Not likely he will stop again, as he is on a set of hard tires.
I see that.
Now, George Russell in the Mercedes behind us, he is several seconds behind, and we can afford to slow the car down just a little bit and then just remain ahead of him in order to keep these tires together from wearing out prematurely. if that is going to be the case, but right now it's still a little bit early. I think if we are in the 15 to 17% range of wear, that we may have to consider slowing down or taking action to preserve these tires. Esteban Ocon is out of the race here on lap 33.
Lap 33.
So 2 cars out of the race here at the Circuit of the Americas. First the McLaren of Lando Norris, and now the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. That is George Russell coming out of turn 11 and down the back straight. No DRS for him.
Back to green, didn't see anything.
Yes, very briefly there in Sector 3 there was a yellow. But we are now back to green flag racing. Again, up to turn 1. Once again, you got to see there that there are a couple of other visual cues that you can see there on the right, including a watchtower. But again, as the apex or turn is to the left, you want to keep your eyes to the left and use any cues on that side of your eyesight in order to locate where you are in relation to the apex. So we're going to keep trying.
Well, he's too far gone. Even if he makes a pit stop, he will still come out ahead. Russell's making time.
Well, at one point we were about 4.5 seconds ahead of George Russell. Now, just a few laps after the round of pit stops, he is 1.7 seconds behind. Just a little bit faster and he will have his DRS available, and then he will be able to start making up a lot of time. So right now in the 66, we are in a race.
Very slow lap, 1.4 seconds slow.
So again, once you're going through the S's, you can actually put a couple of tires very far into the curbs and the aprons there. And the system actually does not penalize for doing that. Again, it's done so that we can kind of straighten out those turns and have a faster drive-through. George Russell now 1.4 seconds behind. Still no DRS for him. And
Russell's
you can see here
definitely going
that
faster.
we are taking our ERS all the way down to 0%. Again, the exit out of turn 15 is very slow, and you should just take it slow and let the tires balance back onto the ground before you accelerate very hard. That is one of the corners that is helping to wear out our left rear. There is a look there on the steering wheel. The temperatures, the left rear definitely is 6 degrees warmer than the right rear. both tires very warm as a result of the hard acceleration that we are doing through the track
All race
here.
update.
Okay, you sat in P2. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Russell behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 21 laps to go.
Seems like forever.
George Russell very close now, less than a second, so he will have his DRS starting to become available through the straights here.
Front tires are giving away.
Again, through the weekend, very little experience driving on a set of hard tires as well as the medium tires. And in the races in the past in this season with this game engine, we have tried to at least do some lapping with the different compounds to see how much further behind they are. Unfortunately, during the practice sessions, the only laps that count are the faster laps, and a lot of those laps are usually done with the soft tires. So it's very difficult to judge how much faster or slower you are when you are experimenting with the two other compounds in relation to the other cars. But that is Formula One. And a lot of times, like right now, we are actually a very slow car going very fast, but we are wearing out our tires. If you remember, we started the race in 9th place, but we are now in P2, many seconds behind our teammate. However, we are able to remain ahead of the field. I suppose if we wanted to preserve the tires and go slower, we'd be further back. And I guess that is one of the benefits of going with the harder compounds. So we are not touching the soft tires at all for the weekend. There is George Russell, done correctly through turn 1 as the number 66 just went way too wide. And that is the amount of time that you can lose if you don't hit that apex correctly. You can see now that he may be as much as 10 car lengths ahead coming out of the S's. Now we may be able to make that up here. We do have an advantage coming into 8 and 9. Our car happens to have a lot of wing on it. And down the hill into turn 11, we are back with George Russell, who left us very quickly, momentarily. Now we will have DRS available to us as we go down the straight here. Very fast, and he is attempting to at least drive in the middle of the lane and close the door, but we are able to get back around him using our DRS and whatever we have ERS left available. So back around in 2nd place for the number 66 Driving Immersion of Mars Medina.
Very tricky to drive now.
Right now, as we come around to cross the start-finish line again, this set of hard tires, either on our car, number 66, or George Russell in the Mercedes, they should be at their peak. or maximum grip and capability.
Very good defense.
Down the back straight once again, the very fast section here at the Circuit of the Americas. George Russell with his DRS not able to make it up here to the number 66. Information on the overlay indicates that the rear tire on the left is now 15% worn.
Maybe 30 seconds ahead.
We have just under 20 laps left to go in this race. Lap 39 of 56. And right now it is still under marginal conditions. Using every bit of our ERS, and as we approach turn 1, George Russell still behind us, less than half a second. Through the S's here. Again, trying to be as aggressive as we can with the apexes to get a faster lap. And right there between 8 and 9, we actually have an advantage.
With all the downforce that we have, and these being the hard tires. Full race update.
Second place, you're in second place. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, Russell's...
The standings show that we are 30 seconds behind our teammate. A very fast Kamui Kobayashi here at the Circuit of the Americas. We are looking at Max Verstappen just behind Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, so there is a race between these two, and that is 5th and 4th place. Up ahead at the top of the hill into turn 1, we saw the 66 of Mars Medina and George Russell in the Mercedes just coming around.
Are we gonna run out of fuel?
Well, that is a legitimate concern, isn't it? And again, at the beginning of the race, we were just about 5.5 laps of extra fuel. And right now, with these dry races, with the engine developments that we've made on this car, it happens to be using up a lot more fuel in these dry races. At the beginning of the season, we were running just about 2.5, maybe 3 at the most, extra laps of fuel to start the race. Again, each extra lap of fuel that you carry on the car is about 0.6 seconds of lost time. So again, you don't want to put too much fuel in the car. So again, if you have a couple of extra laps of fuel, that is 1.2 seconds per lap, and that is a lot here in Formula One. So you want to be able to calculate that correctly, but right now we have under 2 extra laps of fuel with just 20 laps or so to go. And we are going to need to watch that very carefully as we lap around here. This is a view of Kamui Kobayashi as he comes in through turn 11. The number 66, who is in second place, is not anywhere in sight as he comes around. This is 12, 13, and 14.
No race with Kamui.
Yes, 42 of 56 laps. Kamui 31 seconds ahead. There is absolutely no way we can catch him now. He can come in for a pit stop and we still would not be able to get around. And even if he did, once he comes out, he will have a much faster car with much newer and better tires.
Full race update.
Okay, you sat in P2. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Russell behind. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So we are calling into the pits to see if we can get just a little bit more information, but I guess that's just about all there is. We're actually trying to see if Kamui up front may be having a hard time or losing time on his set of tires for some reason or another, which is not likely. Or we're looking to see if George Russell behind us may have been experiencing any difficulty or troubles with his car or the condition of his tires and so on.
Full race update. I need to know how many
Second
laps.
place, you're in second place. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, Russell.
So again, as in many races before, we know there are 56 laps in the race, but here behind the wheel, very difficult to remember that. There are so many other things going on, and when you call into the pit crew, once in a while they will remind you how many laps are left.
Well, we're not necessarily holding back Russell, but we are definitely racing with him.
That is 0.8 seconds behind to George Russell. We are definitely racing with him.
Wonder if that's a glitch with Kamui. He is 30 seconds ahead. He does have a very fast car.
Yes, and we are very well near the completion of the season here in Formula One, but we've never had anybody 30 seconds ahead to win the race. And that is quite a ways, and he is quite a lot much faster than the rest of the field. So again, we are wondering if that may be a glitch, but he was at least 0.609 seconds faster in qualifying, so that may be calculated into the 30 seconds that he's got on us now. So it's still a very clear track here for the number 66, as well as George Russell in the Mercedes. Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, not even in sight down the main straight or the back straight. And he is 8.9 seconds behind. And according to the timing, he is still racing with Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton further back, and so is Fernando Alonso, which is pretty much where we kind of started the race. Right now, if the race was to finish the way it is, it would be a fantastic 1-2 for the Driving Immersion team. And at this point, again in the season, we are leading the Drivers and Constructors Championship in the 66 and the 75. So once again, a little bit better there into turn 11. And through the practice sessions and the information and data we have available, it shows that we should be in third gear as we come around turn 11. However, going down to turn 2 will allow us to drag the rear wheels a little bit, just momentarily, just enough to put a little more weight on the front tires. That helps us to turn into the very sharp turn 11. So very quickly and very only momentarily, we will be in second gear. But we will be back in the third gear again out of turn 11 as we exit out down the straight. We can see there on the number 66 that there is a little bit of damage on the floor there on the right hand side of the vehicle. Nothing is indicated in the HUD as far as damage. Left side looks excellent, but you can see there that on the right side, once we get a view of it, that there is a crack or even a portion missing. And that lower skirt that goes around the vehicle is actually very important in preserving downforce. Again, considering all the wing that we have on the front and the back of the car, down the straight here, a lot of the downforce is made by the under tray.
George Russell. 32 seconds.
Back to the 66 and the Mercedes as the race wears on.
So I think the left rear is getting a lot of wear because the transmission or differential is very well locked. I believe they're at 60 or 70. And we don't normally run it that high. So on these very sharp and slow corners where we accelerate out, maybe the left rear is getting locked in. Having to do the smaller route, doing more work. Race update.
Okay, you sat in P2. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Russell behind. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 9 laps to go.
9 laps. Wow.
So there we are again, once behind the wheel. It's very hard to remember a lot of the information that you may need. Are acting and reacting very quickly here to a lot of the turns and the driving that we must do. There is George Russell appearing on the proximity indicator here in Formula One. That little white arrow that kind of points down in the middle of the wheel, there it is.
Okay, clear.
visually see anything?
And that proximity arrow actually works very well here in Formula One. I think it appears when the car behind is within 1 second. If they are wheel to wheel or overlapping front and rear wheels with you, they will actually turn red. Now, this game does have stereo sound, and we are able to distinguish left and right, obviously, behind us. But again, the cars just come around much too fast for us to be able to distinguish exactly where they are. So the proximity arrows work very well here in Formula One. There is another series that we race in, which is Le Mans Ultimate, and when we are in the hypercar, we can definitely tell if the cars are either to the right or left behind us. And so on that platform, we don't use the radar, as they call it, or the proximity indicators, as it's called here in F1. Down through the S's once again, that is George Russell right behind us, able to stay with us now as our tires are getting older. Again, we came in very early, about 5 or 6 laps earlier than a lot of the other cars here in the field, so our tires are a little bit older. However, we do expect them to be still in very, very good shape by the end of the race, meaning that they will not be any slower than they're supposed to be as a result of wear.
Bad run there.
So right now, George Russell ahead of the 66. We are going to have to catch him up. And there, right between 8 and 9, we actually have an advantage over him. And again, it may be just due to the fact that we may have more wing. But we are very quickly able to get back under his rear wing, and we come into turn 11. We are going to be poised to be able to use our DRS at the end of this long straight. There we are. We are on the outside, and we have actually passed him by now as we enter turn 11, or turn 12, I'm sorry. And that shot was actually a very good shot to have a good look at the complexity of, again, turn 15, very slow as it dips down. And again, you have to wait until the car balances on 4 wheels to accelerate hard.
Full race update.
Second place, you're in second place. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Alright, 6 laps to go now.
So we are now on lap 52 of 56. Our rear left is down 25%. Still very good at this point. But we are now racing very hard with George Russell just behind us. You can see there the proximity arrow indicates that he is there. Trying to stretch it out here before we get into turn 11 to cut him off from the DRS. There is the DRS line just before we enter. And right now he is 1.3 seconds behind as a result of a very good entry and exit of 11, so he cannot use his DRS to be able to catch up to the 11 here. Comfortably into turn 12. Now let's get back to the fuel that is indicated there on the steering wheel. We have 1.41 extra laps of fuel with only a handful of laps left, so that should be good. We don't expect that we're going to be running out of fuel. So at this point, we are not planning to slow down in order to conserve, and right now we are pedal to the metal, staying ahead of George Russell, 1.6 seconds behind as we enter the second DRS zone. And he's not going to be able to take advantage of his speed at this point. He will have to get closer.
Don't see how he could be that fast.
1.5 now as we come into turn 3. And there is our advantage to George Russell. No DRS for him down this time around. But our teammate Kamui Kobayashi is 36.8 seconds ahead. And again, with every lap, he seems to keep gaining time. And no matter what we do here in the 66, we are not able to make up any time on him. In fact, if we drive any harder, we will just wear out these tires. But we do have to mind the race between us and George Russell right behind. And right now, as we are nearing the end of this race, we have to remember that anything can still happen. A couple of mechanical failures in the season ended our race twice prematurely. And I guess it can happen at any time as long as the clock is still ticking as it is here. 1.5 seconds now ahead of George Russell as we are driving from his T-cam. That is the 66 just up ahead in second place. Again, Kamui Kobayashi in first place, very far ahead, not anywhere in sight.
I don't think we were really ever happy with the grip on these tires, or even the mediums, but I think we ran the soft tires for most of the practice sessions, obviously, for qualifying, so a lot of our experience on this track is on the softs. And I think if we're not going to be running the softs during the race, why have them? Or if we are going to be running the mediums or even the hard tires, we should have more that we can use during the practice sessions.
Yes, over the weekend we may have as many as 7 or 8 sets of these soft tires, including the 3 sets that are used up during the qualifying sessions, Q1, Q2, and Q3.
Very deep this time around. Starting to lose the rear tires, obviously.
We only have
Full race
2
update.
sets of the mediums and 2 sets of the hard tires.
Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Russell behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Come on, just 3 laps to go. 3 laps.
So 54 laps complete here as we come around 16, 17, 18.
So that should be good for us.
And here as we come around the pit straight once again, we are conceding the race obviously to Kamui Kobayashi. Very, very far ahead. We did win the sprint race, so we did have a fast car as we were able to get around him very early on in the race, but we did race him for quite a bit in the sprint race. And again, you can catch that here on our channel on YouTube and on Facebook and Driving Immersion. Coming in through turn 15 once again, just a couple more times. And from the rear view mirror, we got to see George Russell just appear just momentarily, a very small dot in the mirror. The mirrors are small, but again, very noticeable if you are behind the wheel.
Okay, final lap. Let's
Fastest
go.
lap.
Final lap.
By 0.132 seconds.
So just a little over 1/10 of a second, we gained the fastest lap of the race. This is worth 1 point. So I guess we should be happy with that. We were, for the most part, just as fast as Kamui, but he did chain together a lot of the fastest laps more consistently than we did here in the number 66. And that is gonna give him the win. From the T-cam of Kamui, our teammate in the number 75 Driving Immersion as he crosses the start-finish line. That is a win for him, very commandingly, 39 seconds ahead. And this is the number 36 of Mars Medina, just coming in through
far ahead?
turn 14 and then turn 15.
He has crossed the finish line.
So yes, very far ahead of the field here for Kamui. Again, a very commanding race for him. But on board with the 66 of Mars Medina here, just a very small sight of George Russell in the Mercedes in the mirrors. We come around turn 20, and
race.
there is second place
Very
for
tough
the
race.
number 66 of Mars Medina.
Everyone here is really happy with that performance. Well done, mate.
And driver of the day. Well, we did come back from 9th. And we fought in second for most of the weeks.
So we are also going to get the driver of the day. We are placing in second place, but we also got the fastest lap. So not a bad race here for the 66. It's just that Kamui went just a little bit faster. And for many, many laps on and on.
Happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
And that's going to do it here for the Driving Immersion team here at the Circuit of the Americas. We thank you for watching this event at Driving Immersion. And remember, for more exciting racing ahead, give us a like and click on subscribe or follow so you don't miss out on the next race event. We'll see you next time.